All right. It's our first episode of Move Slow and Build Things, where we talk fast and build nothing.
I'm so excited. I just never get to talk at length about the product business, and it's kind of all I want to talk about. So
first, we should probably introduce ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go first?
My name is Simone Giertz. I am an inventor and YouTuber and founder of Giertz Studio, which is spelled the way my last name is pronounced.
Your last name is spelled Giertz, but pronounced Giertz.
It makes no sense to anybody.
Are you sure it's pronounced right? Maybe someone pronounced it wrong like generations ago and you're all still pronouncing it wrong.
Probably.
That's what's happening. Anyways, I'm Nayeema, Raza. I hate introducing myself after anyone who calls themselves an inventor because, I mean, how do you follow that? I am a journalist, the most hated career in America right now, and a podcaster, the most prolific career in America right now. I have a podcast called Smart Girl Dumb Questions, and Simone and I have been friends for a while.
Yeah.
We met, I guess, in 2019, probably.
Yeah, we worked on a project that never got published.
We worked on an incomplete, amazing project. But the first time we met in person, we actually met playing a puzzle at your house, or we actually decided that we would play a puzzle. You invited me over to make a puzzle. So it's just great that our first episode of this podcast is going to be about
the edge piece puzzle.
The edge piece puzzle, or as I like to call it, the mindfuck puzzle, the puzzle that you will never complete, the puzzle that will take you the rest of your life, the puzzle that's unfinishable, or for some, the puzzle that's deeply offensive or available for cheaper from a Chinese manufacturer far from you.
Beloved child, many names.
Exactly. That's it. So let's dive in and talk about the edge piece puzzle. We make content, you and I, but you also make physical products. And I think that's amazing. There is a huge difference, I think, between putting ideas into the world or like jokes into the world or stories into the world and putting a physical product into someone's hand.
It's a lot more packaging design.
Yeah, that's it?
No.
What do you think it is? But what is it? What's the difference between those two things?
I mean, in some way, it feels very similar because it's storytelling.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is just like trying to figure out what the best place is for this object to exist in the world. And that can be the same of like making a video or a project.
You think an object is storytelling?
But it's like no more storytelling around like the marketing of it. And it's like, what is this? What does it do? And I think that's something that is extra challenging for us at Giertz Studio because a lot of our products are novel and they do things that other products don't do. So it's a lot of like, it's this, but it also does this and this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's just storytelling. And that was kind of the thing that made me want to start the product business was having all these things that I made for a YouTube video. And I'm like, I don't want it to just end at a YouTube video because I feel like this has a better home. And that was turning it into a product that people could buy.
So today on our first episode, we're going to talk about the edge piece puzzle.
Yes.
Okay. Can we play with it? Can you pull it out?
Yeah.
Can you see this edge piece puzzle?
So let's start with the box that actually went into production. So the idea actually came from, I think, a YouTube comment. I tried to find it, and I can't remember if we actually managed to find it.
Yes, we did.
But yeah, but it was somebody who said we should make a puzzle where almost all the pieces are edge pieces. I have no idea if this is what they actually meant. But the idea that sparked for me is making a piece, like a puzzle that's not a rectangle. Yeah. But it's an outline that's mostly 2 pieces wide. So for this one, what is it? 438, I'm trying to read off the box, out of 501 pieces are edge pieces. And what's really cool about it is that it forces you to put together the puzzle in a different way than people normally do, because usually people start with the frame of the puzzle and then build in from there. But
the whole thing is a frame here.
But pretty much the whole thing is a frame.
So I just want to start this by saying, so Simone and I are friends. And one of the first times we hung out, I came to your house because we were parasocial friends. We had met.
Yeah.
On
the internet.
On the internet.
Working together. Yeah.
And I think it might have been the first time I came to your house where we sat down for dinner, and then you opened the dinner table into a puzzle table. And then we were going to make a puzzle together, but Simone told me we could not look at the box. And I thought this was like, I just thought you were an assassin, actually. Like, who would do this to somebody? Invite them over, remove the dining table, and make them blindly make a puzzle.
I feel like it makes me sound like that kid who's like, hey, we're going to play this game, but we're going to play it exactly how I tell you to.
Yeah.
So you're going to be the dad and I'm going to be the mom. But no, you're not allowed to do that. I get to do that.
That was kind of like what it's like, but I felt like completely ill-equipped to be the dad or the mom or anything because I was like, your mastery at puzzles is like superb. Did you think it would be easier for everyone to do a puzzle because it was edge pieces or harder?
Harder, for sure. And I mean, this is the thing. I love jigsaw puzzles and I love working on them. It's one of the few times that my brain turns completely quiet because I put together jigsaw puzzles and I listen to podcasts and it's just like absolute calm. And yeah, so people knew that I'd been interested in it because I'd released another puzzle that's a solid white puzzle with one piece missing, which is absolutely terrible. Like nobody should have that.
Do lots of people buy that?
It was our best-selling product for a while, which was incredibly insulting to all of our other products. But yeah, so I saw this YouTube comment and I'd kind of been thinking about different types of puzzles. And I think that's something that I really strive for with the Giertz product is that I want it to be unique in some way. So I want it to be something that you can't really get somewhere else. So I wanted it to be different and thought about like, yeah, what if it's a river and kind of an outline? And I contacted an illustrator and I made the outline for the puzzle. So I was like, we agreed that it was going to be a river and that there were going to be lots of little creatures along it. And then she kind of drew the illustration on top of that. And yeah, it's interesting. I feel like our puzzle factory, we work with this really, really great puzzle factory and they like have the best paper from Germany and like.
They're puzzle factories?
Yeah, of course.
Where
do you think they're made?
I don't know. I just never thought about like factories that specialize only in making puzzles.
Yeah. No, it's an entire industry.
And it's like, it's all these like laser cutters and what?
So you make dies. So basically it's this like very, almost like a cookie cutter type of shape, but it's the shape of your puzzle. And a lot of it is, so once we finished the illustration, we sent that to the puzzle factory and then they make the very specific die. And it's all like proprietary. So like our white puzzle die, for example, that's not on any other puzzle. And we only do random cut dies. So usually puzzles are with a grid.
Right.
Ours are random cut. So the shapes are basically puzzle pieces on acid.
But every single puzzle is the same.
No. Or every puzzle of that specific puzzle is the same.
Of that specific puzzle, right? Yes. Like there's no two ways to make the edge piece puzzle.
No.
It can only be completed in the
one. Because developing and designing the die is pretty costly.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So when you make that, how costly? Can you talk about the money?
I think it's a couple of $1,000s. So it's definitely expensive, but in comparison to making other products and the tooling and the engineering that goes into it, it's a very cheap product to make. And it's also a product that has pretty good margin. Yeah. So for us, it's kind of, it's a great thing because it's something that I'm interested in. It's not something that it's like, oh, we want to sell this because it'll make money, but it's like a product that I'm actually interested in that is novel and unique. But the thing about making cheap products that are pretty easy to make is that they're also easy to copy. But we'll get into that
and we're
later.
Going to get into that because that happens here. Okay, so you make the edge piece puzzle. You have the idea from a comment. You go ahead and map it out. Someone illustrates it. You find a puzzle factory. They make a die. What is the next step in that? Like, do you actually then make the puzzle before you prototype it, presumably, and then you make it?
I put it together before we launched it, and I remember we made a YouTube video about it.
Yeah.
And I was very nervous to do it because I didn't have a grasp. I'd never put together an edge piece puzzle before. Like,
did you have to look at the box like the rest of us, Simone?
I did end up looking at the box because it's very hard.
Yes.
It's a very, very difficult puzzle. And I remember doing research. So like whenever I have an idea for a product, I tend to do a pretty in-depth like Google search of trying to see, is this something that's already existing? Because for one, it's like I'm a little bit of a perfectionist and feel like the only way I'm allowed to do things is if it's something that doesn't exist anymore or it exists already. But also because it's like such a nightmare to release a product and for somebody to be like, oh, did you not know that this other person is doing it? And you kind of stole their thing and me being like, I'm sorry, it's because I didn't know.
Right.
So we did a pretty in-depth search and I couldn't find anything similar. So when I put it together, it was a lot harder than I expected it to be. And it required a completely different technique. It's also worth adding that like the edge piece puzzle that we have, or the Summer Day on the River that it's officially called, is very uniform. So there's no real distinction of telling what part of the puzzle things go into. So like every piece could kind of be anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you think about calling it Mindfuck Puzzle? Was that taken?
That was taken. I mean, I feel like the mindfuck puzzle is the white puzzle.
Really?
So yeah, because it's like terrible.
I feel like this puzzle is harder.
It's not.
Really?
The white puzzle is way harder.
Oh, because it's all white.
Yeah.
There's
it's all
really
white,
nothing
and it's
to go.
More pieces. And yeah. Oh, it's about the same amount of pieces. But yeah.
So this one has some visual continuity to it.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can tell.
And yeah, the white puzzle requires a different technique.
Okay.
But I was really relieved putting it together that I was like, I remember keep on saying like, okay, this is actually fun. Like, I think this is actually fun.
That's what people always say when they're having so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they advertise their products to other people. So wait, okay. So you build the puzzle yourself and then you ordered all of them?
Yeah. So we ordered about 1,000 of them.
How do you decide how many to order?
Dude, it's I feel like every batch, every product that we release, I miscalculate how many we should order.
It's like cooking for a dinner party, but with like massively more expensive consequences.
Yeah. And it's all trying to decide like how many people do we think are going to buy this?
Yeah.
So for example, we released a spool table. Definitely ordered way too many of them.
We could have had them here today instead of these.
Yeah, almost. For the puzzle, we ordered way too few. But yeah, we ordered 1,000 because I was like, I feel like that can work. And it was also like we released it in February, so it's not a great month for sales.
Nobody buys Valentine puzzles anymore. I find it really sad. That's always what I want. So you order 1,000 and they sell out pretty quickly, right?
Yeah, they sold out in like an hour and a half, I think. And we ended up the first week selling 12,000 puzzles. And we were caught flat-footed because we were like, wait, what do we do? We can't keep selling them. And we were like, should we mark them as out of stock? We were so not prepared. We didn't have a plan for what to do if we sold out. But we ended up within like an hour or two switching to pre-orders and really quickly getting timelines from our puzzle factory of like, okay, how quickly could we do another batch? And they're like, it depends on how many we sell. But yeah, we ended up selling about 12,000 of them, I think, the first week. And that was the next batch. I feel like every product launch, we learned so much. And we are like, okay, let's not make that mistake again. And now we definitely have plans for like, okay, what if we sell out? What if this comes up?
Right.
What if this happens? And we kind of have the protocols to do it. And also making sure, because we're working across 4 time zones.
Yeah.
So making sure 5 time zones, actually.
Your team.
Between
all LA the people, and Australia.
China, Australia, Serbia, UK, and West Coast.
On West Coast. Where was the puzzle factory?
China.
That was that. Okay.
Yeah. But just making sure that all the stakeholders are there and we can really quickly make decisions if there's something that comes up.
And it's a weird thing because like you are the founder of this business. You're the maker of the product and you're also the face of it. So you are getting the incoming and then have to kind of manage that process back. And obviously have a whole team of people working with you across all these places.
Yeah.
Who you don't want to stress out.
Yeah. No, but it's definitely, and I think that's one of the things, it's like a lot more personal than just any product business because it's like my face and me on the line.
Yeah.
Like if Yet Studio fucked up in some way that we couldn't recover from, like I would fall with it. So it feels very much that it's like directly on me to make sure that things work well and that our product or company or customers are happy.
So it's massively over-ordered. Yes. You're dealing with the stress. You have pre-orders up. Is it at that time that you find out somebody else is selling your puzzle?
Yeah. I think it was a couple of days. All these copycats started popping up. And I realized that the mistake that we made and that we're not going to do again is that we had these really high quality straight on photos of the entire puzzle, which made it incredibly easy to steal.
So how did you find out there was a copycat?
People started sending me DMs on Instagram because there were multiple websites that had popped up and that were running ads with my video that I had made. So a lot of customers saw me promote this puzzle. They clicked the link, they bought it, thinking that they bought it from me, but they did not. And I remember it was such a like nightmare moment of going on like Walmart and Amazon and searching for edge piece puzzle. And it was like 50 listings.
Wow.
And they'd taken all of our images. They had some other like AI generated images of it. Lots of photos of the kids doing the puzzle, which I thought was funny because this is an incredibly difficult puzzle. Like it is not kid friendly. And the thing is, you're like, what can we do?
Right.
Like it really felt like copycat whack-a-mole, and you can put so much effort into getting listings down. But then they'll just make another website. And it's like so personal that they're even actively stealing our reviews. So they're taking photos of our reviews that we're getting on our puzzle and putting it on their websites. So it's like they're not just stealing the products. They're not just stealing the product photo. They're also stealing our reviews and the goodwill of our customers. Because since they're using videos of me, a lot of our customers think that they buy from us. They get a copycat puzzle that is far inferior quality. Like we bought a bunch of them. I have a collection of copycat puzzles and they're really bad.
It's not like a scam where they don't
no,
send
they're
you
actually
the puzzle.
fulfilling it. But it's like just a really inferior product. But then the customer, thinking that they bought from us, go on our website and leave us a bad review.
Oh my God.
And we're having to inform them that like, yeah, no, that is not from us.
So they steal your good reviews and they pay you back in bad reviews.
Exactly.
For products you never made.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just the most like, what am I supposed to do about this?
What do you do? Like, did you contact Amazon and Walmart and?
Yeah, but it's like they're both marketplaces. So unless we started an Amazon storefront that we're working on, it's like they can't really, then you can kind of be like, this is our product. Nobody else is allowed to sell it.
Yeah.
But unless you like kind of pitch your own flag, then they can't really protect you or claim that they can. Of course they could. But then we've hired different companies to litigate the copycats. But it's also like, where is the... It's tricky because we don't really know what the cost benefit of it is, because I have no insight into how many sales, like how many of our customers are they actually stealing?
Right. You only hear from some.
Yeah.
And there might be people that aren't even your customers who are just like searching for edge puzzles and find this puzzle. They're creating markets for not your product. Okay. So that's one big hurdle you hit with making the edge piece puzzle.
Oh my God. Are we really going to talk about this?
The second... is something that I think is even worse, maybe.
After 10 years on the internet, I should have a callus for this. But the thing is, once you put something out there for millions of people to see, people are inevitably going to notice or interpret the things that you do in ways that you couldn't predict.
Anyone listening to this is completely lost in what you're talking about. I think you just need to make a confession.
The edge piece puzzle was probably the worst example of this because I started seeing comments of people being like, there's a swastika in the puzzle. And I was like, there are no fucking Nazi mice in this.
Shane Goodwin, comment. I'm sorry, but does anyone else see the swastika the puzzle has designed into it?
The way your gut drops when you see a comment like that and of a product, there's like no way for me to claw it back. Like I can't like hit erase on it and be like, oh no, we can't do this. Like the puzzles have already been ordered. The video's already made. And I'm like, what the fuck? Where's the swastika? Where's the swastika? And then it's just there.
And did you see it?
Basically, in the negative of the puzzle, there's kind of an off-center swastika. You get defensive about it, and you're like, it's in the negative. I didn't even notice it. But I think the issue and why so many people notice it, it's like once you see it, you can't unsee it. And we were just like, what the fuck are we going to do about this? Like, do we talk about it publicly? Do we apologize?
So who do you call when you start seeing these comments? By the way, so the first thing you do is go run and get the puzzle and see it. And you see it in the negative. And you saw it pretty quickly?
I saw it pretty quickly.
And at that point, you had put swastikas into 12,000 homes?
Yes.
Unintentionally.
First thing, unintentionally, yes.
Obviously,
Thank you for clarifying.
Yes.
First thing I do is lay on the floor and have a sob and then calling people that I know are going to make me feel better. Like you have the people you call, you're like, okay, they're just going to be like, oh no, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
And then once I'm ready, it's like, okay, how do we handle this? And it's like totally my fault. I was the one who made the outline. I should have seen it.
I actually still don't see it. I have to admit.
Okay, thank you.
I might
thank you.
like you should have called me. I'd be like, there's no swastika.
Whatever. People are exaggerating.
Yeah.
But then what we decided to do was just to quietly switch out the versions of the puzzle. So the next batch that's going to be made has another updated design. So I remade the outline. The illustrator remade the illustration, and now it's like different
versions.
Yeah.
Oh, because it was in that bend that you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, I now see it.
Yeah.
I just saw it. So what do you do with people? Did you offer to swap out?
No.
No.
I mean, if somebody would have complained for sure,
yeah,
I would have done it. Like we really, I'm not in the business to make money. Like I'm in the business to make products and to make people happy. So we have very generous customer service. But it was a tricky situation to navigate, and also was just such a, like, for one, it feels really humiliating to not have caught it, and like painful to be like, we put so much time and effort into this, and it's just kind of getting misinterpreted in this way.
I came up as a documentary filmmaker, and this is kind of concept in film called chiaroscuro, where you blend like light and dark.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of no weirder way to like have a swastika on a puzzle that's called Summer Day on the River.
With like little mice having little boats.
Not mice. Is this the first time you're talking about it publicly?
Mm-hmm.
How does it feel?
I don't know. It's scary because I feel like I am so desperate to prove to people that I'm good like that my intentions are good.
Yeah.
And I'm so terrified of disappointing people. And I think it's really like, so it's scary to do it because I'm like, what if I don't do it right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's an honest mistake.
I feel like that you have built,
Nazis are bad.
Yes. I think everyone knows you think Nazis are bad. I think there's a lot of good faith in your community and audience around you, but there's a lot of bad faith in like conversations like online. And especially like, and I see why TikTok in particular, like where you have less of that sense of community. Yeah. It's more algorithmically charged that you feel particularly vulnerable.
It feels like such a stupid mistake to have happen. And it's like just such a proof that every time you release something, something's going to happen that you don't predict.
Yeah.
And for this one, it was extra unfortunate.
Yeah. So what lessons? So let's like end with a couple of lessons you learned from the edge piece puzzle debacles.
I think one of the main things is like, speaking of having a really supportive community online, like a lot of people want to support what I do. And I think releasing cheaper products or products that are more achievable and affordable is a really great way to give people an opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
And I think like what was really huge for Giertz Studio as a business with releasing the Edge Piece puzzle was like, here is a fairly easy to develop and repeatable product or a product category with a lot of depth that we can keep on doing. And if we release 2 puzzles a year, then like that can help fund a lot of the more complex products with more risk involved. Yeah. So I think that was really the big thing that we learned. So we're working on another puzzle that's going to release this fall, which I'm really excited about.
So basically you're saying, I'm going to do some girl math here, but you're basically saying because of the affordability of a puzzle, of a product like a puzzle and the popularity, it can really scale.
Yeah.
And because it can really scale, even though it costs less, the margins are sufficiently healthy that they can subsidize products like this pool table, which are more expensive to make, and you can make fewer of them.
Yeah.
Or you're going to sell fewer of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that was a really good lesson. And it's like kind of given us a path for how can we make this work, because all other products are such one-of-ones as well. And it's just like, I don't know what we're going to start making in 20 27. And having this very reliable
revenue
like
source.
kind of and like a workhorse of a product as the puzzle is awesome.
In our next episode, I want to hear about how you got into the product business in the first place, how you decide what actually gets to be a product. Like, it's wild to me that you're like, I would like to sell thousands of these products so I can sell 3 of this other product, and talk about that math that you do in your head and like your motivation. So we'll talk about all that. But I want to end each episode of Move Slow and Build Things with an idea of a product that you could make. You know what I think really needs a lot of innovation these days? Yeah. The umbrella.
I have an umbrella project, not a rain umbrella, but a parasol project that I want to work on.
Okay. No, we need a rain umbrella first. Parasol? I mean, this is very summer day on the rain adjacent.
Can't believe that you're just rejecting my You're like, no, not umbrella. Okay, what do you want umbrellas to do that they don't do?
Okay, first of all, like, everybody, you buy umbrellas and you lose them. And I've thought a lot about how you could fix this. Should you have umbrella vending machines, but they would sell out when it's raining? Like, how do you create an umbrella that would not get lost? That people would not leave at the restaurant, because you go into a place it's raining and you leave and it's not raining, and the next day you leave your house, it's raining. No fucking umbrella.
I'll think about it. You look disappointed that I didn't have a solution.
What was your I want to hear what the parasol project is.
Yeah, I want to have outdoor furniture that I don't have to take care of. Like, I don't want to have to take the pads and everything in and out.
Yeah.
And I want to have a dining table with chairs. So I've thought about, imagine it's a round table with maybe 4 or 5 chairs around it that kind of neatly tuck in under and has a parasol in the middle, or a sun umbrella. But then the parasol, you can mechanically lower it, and it kind of lowers the skirt as well around it. So it completely covers the outdoor furniture, and it's basically like a tent around it. It looks like a little party tent with like a skirt that goes around it. So you can kind of open and close.
And does it get wider?
It doesn't get wider. It just has like, you know, like Victorian curtains that have like little bunched up things. So those lower. And it just, so like the umbrella just sits perfectly on top of the table, and then it lowers the skirt around it.
Oh, wow.
That's the idea.
I think that could be a good product.
But I'm not hard to ship.
Yeah,
we would need to get into wholesale.
It's going to be hard to like take that with me to the restaurant when it rains. I'll just wear it. I'll wear your parasol tent everywhere in New York City. That's my new vibe.
But I'll think about umbrellas. Yeah, it feels ripe for reinvention.
One lesson I'll take from this also is that like there's finally a puzzle that you have to look at the box for. That is the joy of this episode for me. It wasn't the swastika. It wasn't the copyright infringement. It wasn't your subsidy of the future parasol rain thing.
It's that there's finally a puzzle that really humbles me.
It's the humanization of Simone Giertz that's really driving me in this moment. All right. That's it for this episode of Move Slow and Build Things. I'm Nayeema Raza.
I'm Simone Giertz.
We'll see you next time. Let me show you how to make a puzzle, Simone. You just dump.
No!
What do you do? What's your process? Not this?
No, I actually usually keep it in the box and I rummage because I don't have enough table space to do a whole thing. Yeah. Also, this is a puzzle that we used. I think we used this for a product shoot. And I have to bring a puzzle with me back to Sweden because my brother wanted one because he's gotten into jigsaw puzzles. It did have a note in the box that said, 1 piece missing. But I was like, he can, whatever.
Oh, no.
He'll survive.